We dey look for the news, we dey around. Log into Liberty TV online. Positively we bring the change. They get the masses involved. Staff them everywhere. We climb the mountain just to get the news. We go down the slums to get the views. Voices come. Credibility, now we ability. News, give the views, the tell where you want them. Government issues, democracy, now we not the answer. We human them, girl picking, there's a get the power. He count on me, he count on we anyhow. Give the news, give the views, the tell where you want them. Government issues, democracy, now we not the answer. We human them, girl picking.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to another edition of the Breakfast Show, where they come to you live from Liberty Online TV. We they stream on Facebook, YouTube, and also on our website, where they powered by Orange Sierra Leone. We will bring this edition of the Breakfast Show come to you this Tuesday morning. Mina Khadija Bagora.
And Mina Mabel Kaba. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, the 26th day of August 2025. Inside this edition of the Breakfast Show today, we can talk about wash facility them when our water, sanitation and hygiene, especially tertiary institutions them. Waiting at the current situation with them wash facilities and now that's what they can discuss now the program. As we see this BNTM, the sanitation committee in parliament, we don't go na different tertiary institution, them outside and they go assess how the facilities and like well waiting they don't fair not and how serious the issues here they now that's what they discuss in this edition of the Breakfast Show.
Well, this and other issues them then at the Breakfast Show for you this morning. As we all know, the Parliamentary Oversight Committee them they out now for do different oversight work them for discover some of the things them where the sector they lead they get challenge, and one part then committee where been go out and do inspection na various learning institution them na the Committee on Water and Sanitation. And at the studio this morning, I pleasure for welcome the chairman when Hon Abdul Karim Kamara, Honorable AKK, when I the chairman for that particular committee. We've been go do inspection and learning institution then recently, and some of the things that we then find out now that they can discuss inside the program this morning. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, Khadija. Good morning, people at Radio Land and Television.
All right, that's not the Honorable with the chair the Water and Sanitation Committee in Parliament, and also for can help we talk more about the deplorable condition them where the committee say them find out based on the oversight we then go do. We get a civil society organization where for a very long time don't they work around wash facility them, especially in our schools. And at the studio we get Musa Ansumana Sokoh, when are the team lead for WashNet Sierra Leone. Good morning, Musa. All right, now with two studio guests then this morning they can discuss wash facility them. We suppose for the learning institution them. As I tell on earlier, the Committee on Water and Sanitation go do inspection at various places them. Also then find out some of the things them way na deplorable condition of them particular institution there. I would start with you, Honorable AKK, as the chairman for the Committee on Water and Sanitation. As we all know, sanitation, especially in a learning institution, them, that's something very important. So if we go out there for do monitoring and also some parts of our oversight work as member of parliament and for ensure say wanna bring out the information to the general public. Let we start for look at the areas them. Usa wanna go visit.
Thank you very much. You know, parliamentary job is it's part of our daily exercise of helping government achieve in dreams and aspirations. And therefore, over the period, taking on going to tertiary institutions for do oversight when it comes to sanitation, even the health sector when it comes to sanitation, was something we most times Parliament not be they do. So this year we designed a program who to go through we oversight, say, okay, we are going to institutions. But we didn't drag we to that level now. When you read the president in speech, now we delivered to Parliament, he say we are upgrading learning environment through education, through the education sector support programs, with 60% of work completed at the Miltimagai and the Bumbuna, the Bundubu campuses, and a new ministerial complex on the way. But my interest basically, now also I talk about upgrading learning environment. And when you talk about the primary education, you also talk, say, we don't increase wash facilities in primary schools. So for me, my job as a member of parliament normally, now for listen to it in the president they say, and ensure say I put meaning to them, and ensure say what they talk is practicalized on the ground. So when they go oversight, we say, okay, we go na Guma Dam, we look at the human activities around the Guma Dam. Recently you see the chief minister go around that Biobari area where they talk about expanding the green belt going backwards. And when you look at the green belt proximity, then the green belt is just by the main road. And you understand why made them be put on. So because from that area, they for going at the main dam of the Guma is so much dangerous. Because that are really the valley part of the dam. So if you push the green belts go beyond and you allow people for building, you're not helping them, but you're also endangering the lives of them people and the way get for the day. But because the chief minister will lead a team for Godi, and as the Ministry of Lands and other people in Godi, we go there with Guma as the lead head sector for the water in the western area for go see the areas. Khadija, before we talk about the tertiary institution, allow me for say, waiting currently then another mile 13 to Biobari, which have now a death trap for we citizens in the same way. Anytime way something happen under the disaster will be untold. So we are having citizens who are their lives are being trapped by recklessness on part of state apparatus for take definite steps for save their life. Waiting go up under a pass waiting happen at Matome. If anything happen to the dam. And not forget, I want to keep selling in the mind, say that dam is a natural dam, not to cement and iron and take bilam. So as human activities they go on, people they go to machine day for till and level the hills. Now so it affects the original configuration of the dam. Therefore, it's a major risk. Now, when we come out, we stop buying our Miltimagai because President says 60% of the work has been completed in Miltimagai. I want to use this opportunity for call media people, civil society people, and even the president for going to Miltimagai and see what's not happen at Miltimagai. I go into the wash facility, the toilet place. The tile them put now gone. The one day up, the one day down. Tell you come now for me Taylor Hall, who said maybe don't leave as a student. And you see the kind of work we then do, you don't know say this kind of work, if you possibly do it, I'm yourself for the make a la. Not to say I know the pay more, I the make a la first. Because the work was poorly done. You get areas in a door, now the building, where for more they are students. That foundation which serve the if it don't broke. When they go for go repair them, I broke, now so them paint them. Even the front view for go inside the hostels. The flower pot waiting at the side, so I broke. What we did it way back in 2000, 2001, 2010, 2004, we are left the 30 days, I saw it and I saw them paint them. So if you ask yourself the question, what is the 60% completed? And these are the buildings where the contractors say they don't complete already for handover. In fact, now they don't move the health post, the hospital and the college, now they don't move and come. So that one day they don't hand over them already to the college. And you watch some of them things in there, you go to the toilet facility, basically now just paint. And then put unfortunate styling, whichever I seen at the floor. The thing is so abysmal. I think when I do that post, one of my friends tell me, say, oh, he said, but sanitary condition at college is normal. I say no. Me, I go college way at the common class. Before I reach my room, now I go ask my guy. Because for we, water sanitation was a top notch among other institutions. Say, yes, that's what I went through in Miltimaga. They told me, Daddy, you understand? 2001, 2002, 2003, I did it. So I know exactly what they say. Then you find out, say, the place was, it was serene, water day. So when I go there now, I see, for me, the entire building is just being painted. And even the paint, where you watch them from the video, they tell you, say, it was not, they not even scrape the wall before they begin paint them. So you ask yourself, 60%, what you keep me worried is, this money we then take for repair Miltimaga is not a grant. This is not a loan. We get for repair. So if we go take loan, we will get for repay. They will implement a structure where, by the time they do the structure now, you see say it is poorly done. No, we not for accept that one day as a country. That's below the standards. We come out, they will go na PLTC and by Kroma campus. You know, it is interesting. Wait till we see there again. And they say na campus where I don't be done, they go whilst me not be a student, because me not be a student politician. So they traverse the country. We go there, wait till we see there, as we go na the dormitory inside the blind student and they believe you me, even the blind student they tell you say, wherein they come, the FOMO e de ledompa, na pa water e de ledom. The place they leak. And this is not just one isolated building. This is almost the same for all the buildings. In fact, the male hostel, the big male hostel, is totally been abandoned. Nobody know the day. Nothing know the day at all. If you go there, if you buy like a building we not used for over 200 years, this is the condition of the itself. The toilet facility in a them place and they, in fact, the other side will go. If I be there in speed, now me for go mask the snake. The snake they inside the toilet in the long the comfortable one, and this now the toilet facility where the blind student then they use. So my question is, imagine this was a blind person, what would have happened? But what keep me worried that the fact say when you talk to the administrators, they're not the item. They say for over 3 years now they need to get subventions at the colleges in there. Then tell you say even like Poloko EBK, they say when they underway the cleaners them, the janitors and they retire for replace them, you understand? They write say government or they approve replacement of their staff in there. So they not get cleaners in at the college. So in as much as you think this the administration is not doing well, but no administration operates in a situation where they not get enough resources, they not get manpower.
You talk about resources, but let me go back to one of the things when you start for Talkbots. We're at the Miltimaga University now, and me and you know say na projects that one day. Apart from the fact say they can get subvention, whether or not subvention come, let we look the area of the projects based on waiting you fair not, waiting the administration tell you.
In fact, interestingly, the current project na Miltimaga, the administration not get no answer. Like other project them when ministries they implement. This one, now the Ministry of Higher Education, now they do all the procurement proceedings, now they do hiring. The administration are just a beneficiary to the project. So the only thing they get for do is then go there, watch the work so far, then they write reports. And we saw series of reports where they show say some of the things that we see, so they don't highlight them to the contractors and the Ministry of Education. So the question is, why is it that the ministry is so complacent and not telling the contractors, no, now they do poor work under. No, this one not substandard. No, this one not there to wait. In fact, when you look at even the roof weight, the zinc weight and change, you understand? And the oil count. Now the oil and change, that asbestos roof, it don't need a multi for too long, and it has never been a leak in one. Now you change and the oil count now don't begin leak in less than 6 months, even with the project not completed. So the whole thing is, for me, as still they say, I always like calling the president for not to just waiting at the right now speech and game, but if we get a kind of special investigative committee on them projects, because for me, I see, like I said, I employed for always they ridicule the president. Because imagine the president is saying 60% has been completed, meaning the original Milty Magai structure, waiting for repair. Because not forget, part of this project, we also talk about building new infrastructure. Go now, Congo Coast, now let's see the repairs where they done. It is poorly done.
So did they misinform the president regarding the Milty Magai project?
No, they embarrassed the president. Because when you say misinform, maybe they're not telling the truth. This now when I embarrass the embarrasser, because this is what I'm going to say. Sometimes when you do a project, when a donor-funded project, the donors are not because they give you loan, but they also want to get an effect of productivity in the loan where they give you. So if what they give the loan for not reflect, and the president is telling us, you understand, that, oh, this has been addressed, it is embarrassing the president. So whosoever do this one, he not only do for suit the president's inconvenience, but me go ask the president for let do further investigation. Even when they talk about internet connectivities to campuses, the one we didn't have Milty Magai is not working.
Bring in Ansumana. Ansumana, for a very long time, you don't know this space around wash facility in a learning institution. Them we just listen to the honorable way they chair the committee on water and sanitation based on an oversight visit we then do na Milty Magai and it's by Kuma University and other learning institution. Them you don't hear the report we don't give to the point that snakes them even then are some of the toilet facility them where the visually impaired people and they use. As somebody who don't take at this space advocating for wash facilities in learning institution, it surprised you for you say some of the learning institutions in the country then are such condition as Honorable described them?
You know, listening to being the right person, because I could say as the not the right person really for talk about access to then services there when it comes to education overall, whether primary or tertiary. When you look at the coverage, when you look at schools that will not get access, you know, to then services there, for example, we talk about 21% of the schools them, you know, nationally, we not get access to basic sanitation and water services. And that puts at risk 416,000 kids when they go to school every day. Look at people with special needs, for example, where Honorable talk about, you know, especially, you know, in environments where supposed to make them thrive and able for help society, you know, not conducive enough so that they can able for reach their aspiration. It is a serious concern, not just for government, but it's also a concern for the general citizenry. We as civil society, more or less, go say the investigation are part of helping we work, because we very much believe in evidence-based advocacy and policy influencing. Yesterday it was my program manager stumbled on a post where Honorable AKK post regarding the situation of the referral health, facility in Amakeni. And we coordinated on Amakeni and the team went there and then come out with their reports. The thing very abysmal for no say, even sanitation within the healthcare facility. That particular healthcare facility, now one way we also don't invest a lot of resources on, which we project on strengthening health, wash system strengthening for health, you know, through FCDO. and the project is still on. We're able to train healthcare providers on wash fit, the wash facility improvement tool. We take them through extensive training, and then they're able to develop a facility improvement plan, how they can able to move beyond, the current state of affairs. But then when you look at, the administrative side, then we'll tell you, say, water simply not they run because the taps are broken and nobody is fixing them. You look at the overflowing garbage, then we'll tell you, say, it's been months. The garbage truck now come pick with trashes, whether toxic or general waste or clinical waste, more or less. So these are the daily challenges. I think waiting Honorable talk about the president being misinformed, I think say that one is 100% clear statement. We talk about instances before now where president will give speech in parliament, will tell you, say, there is electricity when in fact people they sleep in the darkness. So it is very much important for the president also institute mechanisms for able for really track progress of them projects at real time, and able for make sure, say, institutions where they in charge of delivering them projects, they are able to be more responsive and answerable to results driven delivery process. We do water catchment assessment over the period. We come for no say 21% of water catchments them already not get forest covering. So for Western area, and I've been we do 19 of them catchments in there, including the Guma Valley facilities. You go be surprised for no say sand mining, stone and agricultural activities, as well as rapid expansion, and land grabbing, don't eat up so much of we water catchment areas because the forest covering are there again, and that also they become so. It also bring the facility for be more vulnerable to sunlight and of course contamination to the water sources. When we engaged members of parliament as at then, they came up with 5 solid recommendations. And their recommendations there have been for put moratorium on, land documentation within the Ministry of Lands, as well as also asking property owners around the Guma Valley premises for come forward with the documentation. You cannot believe out of 73 hardcore houses that were marked, in the course of that exercise, Honorable, you cannot believe, only 5 stepped forward with documentation. 3 of them were authentic. The others were having photocopies of signatures. And these are the everyday stories, of how we go consider for make sustainability even more ingrained into we everyday life. We provide services, but then by the time you know it, 1 year or 6 months down the line, it is broken. We get 31,000 water points nationally. But guess what? 48%, they dry in the course of the dry season.
Like you say, Musa, people not go talk about wash facilities in a salon and not make mention of wash nets because one don't day in the field for a very long time. And then tertiary institutions here we will talk about. Let we get from your own experience over the years, because like you say, on we don't implement different projects them, but sustainability at the end of the day, don't they be issue? Waiting on your own experience, don't sound like, especially for the tertiary institutions the way they look at. Now waiting the missing, we elect them renovate, for example, then toilet facilities them. The semester not go done. If you go there, you notice say it don't go back to the normal.
Interestingly, the catchment protection exercise that we do, the botanical garden at FBC will be one of the facilities where we mark. And you cannot believe the botanical garden as at the time, because we did the assessment in April, already you see say that very beautiful place, don't they go because the way how we regulate as well as protect, we water bodies, you know, a very, very much weak. We also look at instances, you know, we very institutions, they also get this pushback measure for people who want for also trigger change. We institutions, they militate against change within, I mean, like people don't get used to, I mean, like business as usual approaches, maybe, you know. So all of this, they militate against, you know, some of the development the way people really want for foster. Why we know they get sustainability for like move beyond certain period of, you know, of engagement. Now, simply because one, we preventive maintenance schemes are very poor. We know they embed them into the design of the infrastructure work what they do. Take for example, some people go on for deliver water well or borehole in the cause, I mean, close to the dries, you know, or immediately after, sorry, close to the rains, or immediately after the rain, where like the water table they up. And then by the time you remember, like the time where the dry season really go down heat, the water don't dry, you know, and then it adds to the number of water points nationally, but then it becomes a burden on people. We're mainly reliant on them facilities. And for sanitation, we in fact now the least performing, you know, within the subsector, now only 16% of citizens get improved access, you know, to them. And it means, say, we get huge task for make sure, say, we reverse that cause day. Because you take, for example, waiting at some of the major levers of change for sanitation uptake, now like where communities then get, when the households then get, when institutions then get. And when individuals able to get access to water supply services, it also they help for improve outcomes for sanitation and hygiene. If we infrastructure way for able for like really become more climate resilient, for example, you know, climate specific sanitation. I mean, if we not keep the environment then clean, but even if we keep the environment then clean, we'll start with the trash, you know, waiting at the environment.
Resources,
you know,
in any way they affect the tertiary institutions, yeah, not for maintain the way how, for example, then can go rehabilitate, then wash projects them, then facilities them, I mean, but at the end of it, they're not able to sustain them. Resources get any role for play on adjust the maintenance culture. We know
absolutely. Resources now one. Interestingly, you go only you go shock for no say. It's only a week ago where local councils, for example, receiving transfers for the past 2 quarters. So it go tell you say some of the interventions very opportunistic in terms of time. If you fail to deliver this now, you are missing it even if you do them the next day. And so if we not able to generate the required revenue, let's take up, for example, what time in history we ever get resources generated in the first quarter, transferred to ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as local councils, for able to deliver for that first quarter. It is a problem. And until we really try for reset with fiscal space before we go try for get some of them things here right, you go engage with local councils, you go engage with their administrations there. Then go give you excuses, but how further would you push them when resources not they come on time? So these are the like very serious questions where we continue to ask. Days ago, we engaged with civil societies from across 5 districts where we do the wash systems for health project. You know, and one of the training focused now be on budget tracking, how we able for track budgets, you know, for wash spending and able for ensure say we advocate for more resource allocation. But the truth is, we advocate for more resource allocation. They will tell you say we don't increase by so percent of allocation to the Ministry of Water Resources or the washing primary healthcare. But the truth is, the allocation they increase, but the transfers are not just coming through.
So these allocation okay, but year in year out, neither from the Ministry of Finance to the yearly budget or even the president through in statement they say I don't allocate to the Ministry of Finance, not just words on the paper.
It seems like it because the budget, waiting at the budget, this one now part of translating waiting government in your aspiration be waiting
now government your policy commitment for able for like practicalize them. But if the resources not come through, it will be difficult for able for do that. I could give you one instance. We current allocation to the entire wash sector as alone is not even 1%. It's not even 1%. It will tell you say we get 2 utility companies, national utilities, Goma Valley and Salwako. When you look at the contractors where Salwako get for pay, or let's say government get for pay because Salwako is a government entity too. Some contractors don't go up to 85% of the work that they do. But ever since government allocate or transfer, 40%, of first tranche, that has been the case throughout. We met with those contractors. We have discussed with them, and some have even resorted to almost closing business because they don't go lay pipes, them pipes that they also don't get affected now by road constructions where they happen at some of the districts, them places like Kwenadogo. You understand? And so it will tell you, say, by the time governments get their resources and pay them contractors we're almost starting a new project again. Because it will get for take almost the same amount of resources for like get them broken systems then they were supposed to be new for get them functional. So these are the problems. Resources again, one out-of-pocket expenditure is more than 50%. We mean say me and you now we responsible for we health, in this country. And guess what? We planning process is overly reliant on external support. So we are operating on a deficit budget. We mean say if me and you they take care of we healthcare burden, because if we go drink water we not clean, we go back to the hospital and we take money and take care of ourselves. Donor resources actually they take the huge, the second largest contribution, to we revenue stream. And government is spending, between 18 and 20%, contributing to that.
Musa, if we track progress based on the side that we want to work, and especially at the tertiary institution here, any progress done day so far, if you look back years and moving forward in terms of the wash facility, are we making progress as a nation?
I could say to a very large extent we are making progress, but the rate at which the progress they come is extremely very slow. Mind you, we already get global commitments that we don't make over the period. Of course, we get the commitment for reach SDG 6, we're now reaching everyone everywhere with access, to water supply and sanitation services. We also get health sector commitment because wash is a public health concern. There's no way you go want for look at people drinking, contaminated water and one for filter and go healthy. Those are the very determinants to a country making progress. And so some of the progress I would say, policy-wise, the legislations they are colorful. We have legislated measures to be able to really get those institutions up to speed and to be able to also deliver, optimally. But the truth is, the efficiency of the implementation of them policies and legislations. Now, another one. We talk about the measure for also prioritize education in we national process. The truth is, if the learning atmosphere are not conducive enough, it becomes extremely difficult for people able to thrive. And so those are the foundations to every growth system. If we make sure, say, the learning environment more conducive, it becomes a heaven for make everybody able to thrive and reach in potential. But if it's not conducive, I'll give you a few instances. Osai, we do some engagements at some of the schools. Them right on the spot, we met pupils really carrying jerry cans on their head, taking water like they do it by ton. It is James's turn or Yabom's turn the next day. And so it is not that kid's responsibility to take water to the school. They are there to learn. But the truth is, out of desperation, the school administration tax those kids to go in search of water. Ordinarily, before those kids get to school, they are, in fact, very much tired because you don't know if they are even charged at home to carry the same responsibility. So these are the very serious concerns. I mean, I talked about legislations. Coordination is also very much challenging. The MBSSE has a WASH directorate now in place. The Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation has taken on board sanitation mandates. There are still components of sanitation within the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Lands is also dealing with places that has to do with water catchment. The NPAA is there, the National Protected Area Authority, the EPA, Environment Protection, and Ministry of Climate Change. All of these institutions, including the municipal councils or the district councils, need to coordinate. There is no way you can issue land or housing permit without, first, really looking at the environment and see how it will affect now and future interventions around access, And so these are the problems. The institutions are not really communicating to each other. How do we ensure that we bring them together, to coordinate? At least what happens within the Ministry of Water Resources, the municipal council should be able to know and be able to tailor its plans around it and be able to ensure that apart from just working in silos, we are now pulling strength from what exists. Already we have the National Development Plan, which is more or less like the one country, one vision and one planning process. But then if we go against that plan, it becomes difficult, for the whole of government to be able to also start looking at which areas they are making progress and which areas progress is not coming forth. And these are the real problems. And lastly, I would say in our work, we have done an extensive sector landscape analysis. Thankfully, the government government of Sierra Leone is now part of the Health of State Initiative for WASH, which provides answers to the point of us asking questions over time. Have we been asking the right people when it comes to these services? But if the Health of State Initiative is now in Sierra Leone and government of Sierra Leone has acceded to that, it should be a glimmer of hope, but specifically looking at the fact that, what differently can we do? How do we move beyond business as usual to be able to ensure it becomes more meaningful and that these policies, these measures we have in place are now coming into translating to more practical results?
All right, so now we come back to you, Honorable AKK, as a chairman of the Water and Sanitation Committee in a parliament. We don't listen to Musa Ansumana Sokoh. You don't in this space for a very long time. Obviously, they're in agreement with most of the things they want to find out. But one key thing we talk about now, legislation issues. And you being a legislator, a member of parliament, when I don't go find out all of them things there, so say learning institution and in a very deplorable condition, and self some of we reserve area, then one of the things then we you talk about. How una go ensure say una go beyond just monitoring, do a normal committee report and table and a parliament? You don't think say this not time now for action?
Of course, committee reports of oversight are always been laid in parliament, and actions have been taken on them, always. Legislations, I don't think we have much issues with legislations. When it comes to protecting environments in the world, Sierra Leone gets the toughest laws. In fact, we green belt area, not to just demarcation, it has been gazetted and it's a law. When it comes to institutions, we have to do with environment, not the world. Sierra Leone is top notch in terms of legislations and institutions. We not only get EPA, we get NPAA, we get Environmental Protection Agency, we get a Ministry of Environment, we get a Forest, Agriculture and Forestry. It shows we get so much institutions. We actually supposed to protect the environment. But the question we most times would ask is, Are these institutions protecting the environment, or are they part of the people where it really affects the environment? If you go to areas where we get forest guards there now, the area then fastly they become habitable for people than even before they tell them deploy the forest guard them. So you ask yourself, what are the jobs of these forest guards and the NPAA? If you go to areas where mangroves areas them, today they see people they encroach the area then faster than how it be did before. So the more we get the institutions, the more we get the laws, and the institutions they're not just they operate based on how the government think for operating. No, they operate based on the laws. They make the laws. Now the laws they establish them will give them enough powers. The truth is, how do we implement those laws what they make? Now they deal with the institutions. That's not to parliament get that power there anymore. We they make the laws, we get the powers. If we make the laws, we give you the powers, and you think the powers we've given you are not enough, you come back to parliament. They review the laws. And I think we don't review even the other institutions recently. We not get any problem for renew and make new laws and regulations. The problem is it talks on the issue of allocations. You know, for me, I don't say a good as a country law we begin run a realistic budget, a practical budget. Where if I say they give me 5,000, at least liable game as an institution 4,500. The whole of last year, academic year paso, I don't talk about many times. No school no receive subsidy. But I'll even come to them. Again, they talk about sanitations in the schools. They talk about them picking the total water and the practical realities across the country. But look at what we pay as subsidies for them schools and you pay 10 leons per picking. For a year and 30 leons you pay per picking. So if the school gets a total of 300 picking them, how much did they get per subsidy a year? Now 30 leons times and 300, which is just about 900,000 or 9 million leons. Do you expect that to fabricate furniture for the kids? No. We're gonna they practice in school now EBK. You find out say some whole classroom furniture's not the day. So you imagine whose kind of learning environment they take place under. Some day now only 10 you they meet inside the whole classroom. You understand? You imagine, and this was one of the top schools in Poloko cities. Today it is down, and the subvention will they give. They ask myself, when people make policies of that nature, are they being realistic to themselves? Because we born picking them now, where they send you picking them now good schools and private school. You know they send you picking a school, they pay 30,000 for a year. You said they know say the standard of that school they not go meet the threshold where you want for you picking. But why are we so bold in the political class for able to make a subsidy for schools when are just 30,000 a year? Then you expect quality, you expect the school for maintain the sanitation of the way itself. You expect the school for fabricate furniture. You expect the schools for buy register and other learning materials in that 30,000. That's provocation to our education sector.
So for you, now the funding maintenance culture not able for the now the tertiary institutions and wash facilities.
But when you talk about the again, we're talking about three different sets here. We're talking about the primary and the secondary schools. You talk about the tertiary institutions. Of course, the tertiary institutions, I want to keep the balance. Yes, the situations are abysmal on the ground. Imagine just two we don't take. We've not gone to places like FTC, we not go FBC, we not go Jala and other institutions. We as a committee, we have to go there. And we have to roll the cameras on those institutions. For let's say and actually see what in there happen. But the institutions all don't go so far. One of the things we come out very, very clear is government has not paid subvention to those institutions for over 3-4 years. And now out of what they collect from school fees, they run other administrative costs them. So you keep the balance or begin to say, yes, our institutions are not doing well when it comes to upkeeping the wash facilities. But you ask yourself the questions. Take, for example, if you decide to run Salwako pipes into PLTC today, who pays the bills? How did they get money for pay the bills? And the same money did they get for the student they for run the institutions and then get a pullback for the pay the bills. If subvention is coming in, then you begin to understand, see, again, government gave up in game in paying subvention into education. Not forget, one of the things when a major pillar of President Bio in administration and human capital development. And in human capital development, education is a key pillar. So if you continue paying 30,000 loans for primary school kids and 50 to 70,000 loans for secondary school kids, and you're not giving those subventions for a whole academic year, you know they give subvention to tertiary institutions for 3 academic years. What do you talk about even when it comes to the human capital development? It is not working. I am still saying, I am sure the president is not well briefed. I am sure the president needs a special task force for go around the institutions here. Not to their happy moments, they see chief minister, they go and get party at our base. Come on, we have more governance institutions that needs attention.
Another somebody go get this question, say, una as a parliament, what una don't do for bring the relevant authority them, for example, Ministry of Tertiary Education Day. What una don't do for reach out to them, bring them, and ensure say some of them things they are una then deliverables, then do them for the school administration them.
Okay. I worked in a different committee. Parliament is segmented into different committee.
Granted.
Okay.
These issues, wanna go find out na the school, in as much as you belong to the Committee of Water and Sanitation, but when they say government, na collaboration. You are part of government as a member of parliament. Calling the Ministry of Tertiary Education, bring them to parliament and say, these are the issues. How do we resolve them?
Okay. Firstly, I expect, well, I don't expect you for commend me, but I expect the people of Sierra Leone for commend me because these are issues we normally know they come to the public. So bringing them to the public and giving the public an awareness of what's actually happening in the governance system is one thing we really call for commendation. But I don't expect that because I'm being paid for that job which I am doing. One, as a committee, we have brought forward all the things. I'll tell you why interesting to happen. When we do this one, I don't get calls across the country of institutions, universities, where they from that moment where we do that one day, some man don't begin the repair, some man don't begin clean, some man don't begin brush in university. For me, I think it's not just bringing them to the table, but we need for expose some of them things here, for also make people where they in authorities in those institutions say, okay, they are not subventions, but you get workforce, you get cleaners them. We're going to clean and brush and keep the sanitary conditions. Yes, we agree. There are challenges with finances, but there are things you can do as an institution. So now, for we on air, when we're done with the reports, we are going to collaborate with the Committee of Higher Education for see how best we engage. For me, my approach is, even when I am in the water sector, is after we don't do all of this, we not just publish the way itself. We come to the public, then we get the institutions or come together. Like we engage GUMA, we engage the Ministry of Water Resources, we engage the parliamentary leadership, and we also go write this report and make them public to the people. Say, hey, where to get now mile 13 that a disaster awaiting our nation. Hey, the condition of learning environment. You know, some of the things that the president say don't do for the university, and we go to the university and they go shock.
So the ministries, for example, there's a whole ministry on the environment. Seeing the dangers there, so we just talk about mile 13, brings the question, what are these ministries doing? Because some of them ministry and a new ministry them where government create for say, okay, maybe merging the ministries, then go become overwhelmed. No, create a whole ministry of environment, but the environment is fastly going. Look what's in the happen na Takugama. They are closing down. Okay. Because of environment problems.
Okay. So the problem we get basically is in Sierra Leone. Let me say, let we try for our own realistic budgeting. You know, just I don't know if last week they don't do well, but we have a whole ministry of lands Nasalo. We not get one motoka safe where the survey team go use. So when you talk about land grabbing in certain areas, you expect Ministry of Lands to go there. Either they hire motoka or they use their own private vehicles or then take keke or okada for goody. So look at the time constraint, logistics constraint, and if you talk about a whole ministry like lands, not able to get vehicles for themselves, you also they ask yourself the questions: are we serious running a state like Sierra Leone? You talk about institution where they work in the environment space, like the EPA, you understand? And you ask yourself the question, why are people, again, the institutions here, not forget, see, part of the major problem is they don't get enforcement power. Then depend on other state institutions for for broke, perhaps you get for go court, you get for get other long procedures then. For me, I think it is about the political will. The political will for ensure, say, we enforce the compliance on the institutions here, and then people are with it. For me, it's not just about, one of the sad things happened at my Biobari. I asked the man, I said, what's you did? So you know, say that dangerous area. He said, yes. He said, then tell we say if anything happened to that damn day, the water go meet you here. Now I said, but why you there? He said, well, because the valley there, the water go past now the other side. And you're talking about if the place full up, you talk about over 5 billion gallons of water. Now in the man, they explain how if he said the water go candle in new way, the water go pass through, it go balance, we can have your host. So until that my neighbor and that ain't go be affected. So the people consciously know say their lives then they under threat, their family lives then they under threat, their property then they under threat, but they are still there. And interestingly, government again, I am saying this openly, government again, the chief minister, the highest minister of the land, go there and they assure the people and say, then go move the green belt for ensure say, they don't build, so now they cut the. Are you joking? You're playing politics with a life and disaster awaiting our nation. No, I think we need better people who can do some of those jobs.
Look at how effective UNASEFION oversight functions and don't they be, because when you begin talking, you make mention, say, one reason we make una go watch the tertiary institutions because of waiting the president in speech, in state opening speech and parliament. How often UNASEF they play on a role in terms of keeping them alert and going for on an oversight function, not waiting until the president perhaps can get a speech, then UNASEF we go see if they talk not through.
Okay. You see, we all they boil down to the same thing. Parliament is run by budgeting. So now we budget available for we as members of parliament, then we go oversight. So for me, I would like going out almost every month for ensure say we look at compliance issues in the sanitation area. Again, we get a whole sector we will start very soon when the councils them, the market areas them. You go interesting for no say almost 80% of our markets they run across the country not get toilet facility. So you ask yourself the question, that people they sell cake. If they can sell a field for toilet, so say they go. So if he go now any corner and use toilet and not get water for washing, so now the same hand where he take where he use toilet with now they can take for sell the cake, give other picking or other somebody be angry. You see the multiple effects of disease sharing within our environment. So we cannot run those markets. Also, how they pay market dues, or people they collect market dues from people and the area they not get toilet. So the sanitation aspect is very, very huge. We also get NGOs them within the sanitation space where they get money on behalf of the people of Sierra Leone, where they come and say that they implement wash facilities in schools and other areas. We also have to call them to ensure they come to us and explain where are they implementing this. Me don't get a sad situation and make this way. One project, one well, two people they claim and say that they bill. Where you read this in report, a day. Where you read this in report, a day. Again, we get for also talk to the Ministry of Development for ensure see when NGOs come to Sierra Leone and they want to do wash facility, not to them for just do a map and say I want to implement wash facility na Tonkolili, na so area. No. The Minister of Development forgets a whole mapping where they go say, what you want to do? Now, water well you want to dig? Okay, this area, then get plenty water where I'm going to implement. What about if you go to this other area where there is a need and a felt need of water facilities? I go say this with no fear. Say, even the Julius Maada Bio Pediatric Hospital of Excellence where they build, you don't get water where they go there. So how you expect for run sanitation and that kind of area where water not there? And this is the situation for almost all we refer hospitals in this country. You don't get water where they go there. And you cannot keep sanitation effectively in areas where you don't get water. So water is a major pillar in the aspect of sanitation. How many schools in a Pretoria get water? I can always say, even the government school where they closer to the presidency, when Akibo Bet, Tawail, municipal, these are municipal schools, they don't have water. Then they're just less than even 100 meters from the office of the vice president. So if they don't get water, you expect cathedral, where not Bishop Johnson for get water? So the truth of the matter is, we cannot keep sanitation.
But the question now is, there are so many projects on water and sanitation, year in, year out. The cities in the huge budgets going into these ministries. But up till now, Freetown, when at the capital city, people are struggling with clean water. You get houses them where they go and open your tap water on. First you begin to buy bouncers. With all these huge monies, they allocate to some of these projects, where are they going to? The big question, Honorable.
So the first way go make citizens lose confidence on when they go begin get water na the hosting. Now the fact, I always on TikTok this, I can make it like a phone. Say if you want to know how hopeless the water situation crisis is, just drive from here, you go up St. Mary's. We issued for Watch the Lodge. The first way is in our water bouncer. So if the presidential lodge and the governors having get water, it depend on water bouncer. And the first way they were linked in go be depend on water. This is the biggest office house, the first house in the nation. Go State House, now water bouncer, Parliament, now water bouncer. Yeah. But again, in as much as we get this situation, the ultimate reality is the area they will get now in a catchment area in a western area for get water are almost being invaded by land grabbing schemes and ineffective monitoring of we water catchment areas, whether it is in fact the project we now the biggest project now we don't implement through the World Bank, we also monitor na Regent, that Babadori area. That's not the biggest one. We don't get 10 tanks, including the old one will be there. But the question you ask yourself is, who's that water lady come up for Kayanda now from Takugama? So if that area is today being almost invaded, you understand? So it means say we don't build a tank there as a government, but over the period, that place they get for dry up in the dry season. Go na Angola. I give that commendation to government. They've done extremely well. Forget a whole treatment plant. A very big one we go supply that entire area. But even as they build and so now people end up and build host them back around it. So it means say in the next 4 or 5 years we plan on build host them right around there. It means say the treatment plants go there, the infrastructure go there, everything go there. But waiting go happen. Water not go there. You go mile 13. Even when you enter inside Guma, then your own gate, you still see people in the squat there. The main pipe where they come out Guma for Candon, that entire area, the human activity, they make people they burn charcoal, they burn the wood them. As they burn the wood, the tar where they take for grab the pipe for let it get safety, it they peel off. And as they peel off almost every 1 or 2 months, Guma pipe they be affected. We cannot run a state like say we all na gangster. Would I feel no more today? Who is connected to this? Who is connected to that? We creeks and we lakes them all being affected.
Is it safe for say the line institutions we're supposed to implement policies for protect some of the areas and they not been effective over the years?
For me, I think say one of the things will get wrong. Now the fact we create many institutions and nobody no get other they report to. Everybody thinks he is a boss on its own. For me, we just need one Ministry of Environment. All other components with this will become departments under the Ministry of Environment. Then the Minister of Environment takes responsibility directly. Why do you need NPAA where if you don't just get them as a directorate under the Ministry of Environment? They report directly to the minister. So if I now say even when it comes to resources mobilization, when it comes to implementation of environmental policies, you go to one institution. Now when you talk about Environment Protection Agency, you talk about NPAA. When it goes on side, NPA say now we get authority. Environment will say no, we say now we get authority now. Go to the provinces. Me neither I can say we need to roll our cameras as citizens. A whole river will begin as Salone and called Pampana River is extinct today. There's no more Pampana River. You go to Rokel River, where now the only source of here and the way go that Ribi water. Now the only two source now Abupa, if at all the water catchment in Africa dry up. Now the only two source that do Abupa. Rokel River now is coming down with brown water, meaning mining don't begin to affect now itself the up the stream. So it means say with time, even with all the natural resources where we get as a nation when it comes to water, time will come where we know we'll get pure water for drinking at Freetown and Sierra Leone during the dries. And this is scary.
All right, let's bring in Musa. The dangers ahead, very scary, if I can borrow the words of the Honorable. But when you look, there are laws for protect the environment. But the problems are still there. Human activities, they destroy the environment. And they lost the environment gradually. And even with water system, then they become dry gradually. Whose side the problem there? With all the laws, multiple institutions for protect the environment, but the problems are still there. In fact, and they become worse.
I go categorize the problems into 4. One, the efficiency of institutions for able to translate their laws and policies there into more practical actions. If we don't shift the green belt over time, it means say we're not able for like really push people for comply with the laws we protect the environment. We're not supposed to shift the green belt. If we where they make the laws not squats at their premises, then they as well. You know, I remember very well, you know, a prominent politician we build, you know, now one side we Guma Valley for do, a treatment plant. And, you know, we got the recommendations and everything went to state out. By the time you know it, that was it. And so these are not like poor people. These are highly placed individuals. And the poor people, they come in because they feel say they are protected because, I mean, before it gets to them, the powerful people are already serving a shield for them. And so we need to be honest and be more genuine into how we want to make the country than a one. The other one is about how we able for like not work in silos, how we not for work in small corners. Let we work as one, as a unit. Government is government, you know, because part of a whole represents a whole more or less. We need for continue for coordinate so that we bring answers to some of the problems so people plenty time don't ask. The other one, we the citizens then self get problem. How, for example, you go see a big pipe, you know, where they supply water to the entire city. They go build kiosk on top the pipe. And in that kiosk, they cook. You get coal pot, you understand, and all of that. And like you say, these are things we get coating. You get rubber coating on them, you know, with about like regular tar. So exactly.
The problems all they face today, especially the threats then to the environment. Now, attitudinal problem or na just lack of enforcement?
I go on for say more broadly, more of a behavioral and attitudinal problem. Because one, if people are self-centered, selfish, like it has to be me, you know, or if I get this opportunity, I not go one for put all this into the project, I want for save some for myself. The second thing, I think say, in spite of the fact say there are legislations we get for protect this area, let me go there. You know, like the self kind of tendencies, you know, all the limits we from really progressing. How for heaven's sake you go look at, you know, like a system where they in place, where everybody they comply with, you want to go the other way. In fact, I mean, like the very people where you live nearby go be the very people for bring you to book. But if we all do them the same way, nobody cares. Guma Valley is losing 40% of treated water. on a regular basis. Because we cut the pipe, nobody cares. In fact, you go call the Guma Valley helpline. If they want them pick, if they want them not pick. You go report the problems for as long as it takes. Nobody takes action. But guess what? For just this year, Guma Valley has conducted over 10 major shutdowns just for repair. Would you like to ask if somebody is benefiting from them shutdown repairs and they? Because every time they shut down, they want for do repairs, somebody procurement get for take place. And some people just feel it is okay to be doing it. You go, just take example, EDSAs, with communities, then go say, na EDSA man, they go come pull the transformer, because then sabi how for do am. Me and they do am, we don't go give scam. Sometimes they do away light day. So it has to be the same way we go consider, like, why we get for do so many shutdowns and then we continue for focus on quick fixes rather than sustainable fixes, And so somebody is benefiting somewhere.
So for address some of them challenges and waiting need for be done?
Waiting has to be done. We need to be very deliberate and iron-fisted. We get integrity institutions like the like the Anti-Corruption Commission. That institution, tell me about yourself. How, for example, we get audit reports, then when they come out, it expose the issues there on a regular basis. In fact, for most of the time, we see like audit opinions. But these are the very determinants, to a country we're ready for move forward. The audit service, I met with them like some months ago. One of the things we come out very clearly now that we're not only auditing the figures now, we're not only auditing the systems and processes now, but we are also now auditing the impact of the funds that institutions are delivering. We want to go beyond the figures. But I think it is very much in place for let we also begin to look at the impact of certain interventions. Some MDAs go do 4 deliverables for the whole financial year. But that deliverable, then they multiply them like every year, now the same deliverables. Nothing is changing.
So how do we get past these problems? How we will come out of this?
We plan with the resources that we have. Even if we go able for only generate, 1 leons inside salon, we generate them. And make sure, say, we reduce the leakages in revenue streams. Like the NRA.
But President said they block the leakages then.
It is cool and done, but we need to practicalize them more. We need to make sure, say, the leakages. Honorable talk about the institutions are too many. We very well recall how, for example, the NPAA come in place, because 2 individuals were not, in the same way. But then, when you look at we current space, 52% of we revenue is eaten by the wage bill. Because, yeah, thank you. So it means, say, if we continue to create more institutions, we will continue to pay the salaries. Of course, let the people have the job. But the truth is, we cannot do infrastructure work. We cannot do operational engagement so that citizens go better. Go receive their own side of the benefits of having a system in place. And so these are the major problems. We take 31% of this revenue for pay external and domestic debts. So by the time you pay, 31%, between 51 and 62%, to revenue, to overhead, I call them the wage bill, what thing go left? It means, say, virtually is more of hand to mouth.
So with all these reports coming out from the oversight committees, organization, the lekuna, non-governmental organization, the lekuna, a lot more where Takugama, the closed Bala is out there talking about these issues every now and then. The forest, they don't go. It's possible let we come out from these problems, or with all the structures now, what is happening, we'll just continue for deepening inside the problems?
It's possible for let we move out of them if we decide for consciously re-engineer we governance architectures. One of which we can do when we get a deliberate effort for make sure say we place the right people in the right institutions and make sure say then people are able to meet certain deliverables. I mean, institutions, they thrive over time. It means say they really aim at optimizing impact. We're more powerful in every setting. You know, we also need to make sure say the very legislations we don't become obsolete over time. We give them more life and make sure say they're able for bet people we contravene them. We make sure say integrity institutions able for also be provided with the leverage for able for operate freely, the level of independence, so that they can able for bring out the key issues and bring the one that way contravene certain thing them to book. We make sure say we revenue generating institutions get the full capacity and able for deliberately map out with revenue generation potentials so that we become more conscious about what we can do for ourselves rather than what other people can do for we. Take, for example, the USAID court. You know, we affect literally every country around the world. All of them are part of the things for let countries sit down and sit back. I mean, look back and look at what is it that we could have done better without external support. Or now that it is, what we can do now for move forward, you know, knowing that certain institutions are closing down and institutions are also having their own peculiar challenges. How do we move forward as a country? So these are the questions we really need to ask ourselves and make sure say we're able to forget, you know, a system that works and one that works for the people.
All right, Musa Ansumana Sokoh, continue for the week at the studio. We'll come back to now. A lot of messages don't come in. This not time follow. We look at messages where the viewers don't send and when I go respond. So the one them win our questions. The very first one I go look at Fortune Bassi. They say many institutions lack proper sanitation, but it's the responsibility of the heads to put structures in place for proper hygiene. Citizens' responsibility is key to national hygiene.
Kelvin Sise, they say the government needs to do more in all institutions because there are lots of lapses.
Omar Umara say wash facilities are very poor in rural and urban government institutions with the lack of functioning wash infrastructures.
All right, Aminata Kabade say, well done, ladies, always top notch. We must learn to change our attitude in this country. Even when you try the right thing, you turn out to be the bad person. Change starts with oneself.
Look at small messages. This one from Mystic Nadwazak. It says proper sanitation is key in our learning institutions. Wash challenges have been an age-old problem that should be prioritized by the relevant authorities. Most of these learning institutions are faced with serious wash challenges.
All right. Fancy, they say salon don't need iron fist, but the entire country needs to honor and respect the laws. No one should not be above the law in Sierra Leone. The law is for those without link to those in power.
We look at small messages. This one from Albert David. It says in light of the recent claims of multi-million-dollar investments into upgrading tertiary institutions, how does the government ethically and transparently justify the appalling conditions, leaking dormitories, neglected facilities for visually impaired students, and dangerously outdated infrastructure and catastrophic state of Guma Valley Dam, when visual evidence and first-hand inspections reveal a reality that's only contradicts official statements but exposes a systematic abuse of public trust, a blatant disregard to human dignity, and a potential humanitarian disaster awaiting to unfold.
This one they say, thank you, Honorable AKK, for measuring Rokel and Pampana rivers. It is sad when some of us see how those rivers gone like that, all in the name of mining that benefits few foreigners.
Institutional collaboration is missing in the fight to protect our environment. An individual who has done an illegal activity at a protected area will present authentic document justifying his or her actions, which is a clear indication that we are not making headway as a nation to protect our environment. The Western Area Peninsula Forest Reserves is under huge pressure because much has not been done. If we don't apply and implement suffer measures, Freetown will soon experience water shortage as a result of deforestation.
The last one I take now from Victor Calon is say, I am residing at New Jersey by Angola Town, where the government has built a dam. To connect to your house cost 6,000 leons. This is unfair, and we are asking Guma and the ACC to investigate.
Aliu Kamara, they say, to be candid, many schools in the country lack wash facilities, exposing the students to infections as a result of lack of sanitation. Majority of the schools, especially those in provincial areas, lack toilet facilities, and as a matter of fact, their students have no alternative to attend to nature except through nearby bushes. So, Mr. Walsh, if you are informing the nation that the allocation to this sector is less than 2%, who is fooling who? As the president demystified that they have provided wash facilities to all public and government assisted.
All right, from the messages and they come back in the studio. They start with you, Honorable Keke, then we'll come to Musa.
As we conclude, I think I get just key thematic areas. For me, first I want to call the attention of the president for a talk to the chief minister for off the green belt. Anything we get for move the green belt for Musa idea now get two telling effects. One, it damage the existing beautiful environment organ at the peninsula, and we also we are sure of getting clean and pure water to the Guma Dam. Secondly, it also only set a trap for endanger the lives of citizens.
When you say they ask the president for hands off, what do you mean?
Because it don't lead the team we go there, and it don't assure the people. I think I will pull that video there now the public very soon. We talk to the residents. We say if I recently the chief minister don't care, it don't assure we see then go increase the green belt for cover outside we host them this. So for me that one not to politics, that one not endangering the lives of the people, and as leaders we not for involved in them kind bad politicking and they forget fame and popularity. We must protect our people and take the tough decisions. We go affect them now, but we go protect their life in the future. Secondly, I also think we need the president don't say don't do 60% of the project na Milty Magai. We need for set a committee we for investigate the Milty Magai project. Uda na the beneficiary. Some of those facts are very much open to some of we. The other then get the contract, how connected they are to the presidency and every other thing. I think we need for at this level I've only called the president for let it set a team for review the Milty Magai project and for ensure see the right thing is done. This is not just AKK as a chairman, but also I am an old student of Milty Magai. I am concerned with within the happen at my institution. Thirdly, when it comes to the issue of EBK, for me, I think there is so much to be done. We cannot run institutions and we don't give them subventions. I think the president year in, year out, they go parliament and read a state opening speech. For me, I can always say we get a whole institutional collapse when it comes to how they do some of the things how they do. I don't know if the speechwriters are deliberately they can do and for embarrass the president or they are not well informed. Because take for example, let's just divert a bit. Take for example, when you talk about the area of education, which they don't achieve, these same institutions we talk about so were captured in the 2022 audit report, 2023 audit report, and then show we how abysmally they perform. So when you write for the president now and the president can't tell we say, oh, we don't achieve this, and this institution. Are these people really reshouting before they put the president to ridicule whether they do so? Sometimes people need to understand as Sierra Leoneans say, the office of the president is the biggest office of the land where they represent we all. Therefore, when it make policy statements, they are not just policy statements. They will be statements the way they live for stand the test of time. You go and look at the audit report. I always tell people and say, see the audit report recommendation on Milty Magai and see the reality will go on earth and see what the president talk about Milty Magai. You they see a total mismatch. Go to the EBK institutions. See what in the audit report say about them. See what will go on earth na the ground. See what the president talk about them. You they see a total mismatch. And we cannot continue running institutions where we know able to give subventions to. We cannot continue talking about human capital development where we know able to run those institutions. We cannot talk about, imagine the science labs of institutions in this country. The audit report they tell you say they cannot even run themselves. And the president they tell you say don't build ultra modern infrastructures and then colleges and they where they now over 21 colleges that the country get internet connectivity. The primary schools that they get internet connectivities now. Yeah, they ask so if na Rwanda the president can talk about, because when you go to the actual realities on the ground, what you see is far-fetched from what the president they say. So let us stop for the Ask Indian film for we. What did they write for the president and tell we the reality on the ground? Because when the president they talk, it also they help the donors for no usana area of interventions. But if we are having a very clean sheet of a presidential report to Parliament year in, year out, you ask yourself the questions. I think Sierra Leone is okay. We don't need the much needed support. And as my brother say, every other year, we budget deficit is so huge because we have a situation of addressing wage bill, you understand? And we have a situation of addressing loans who they take. And one of their loans that they will get to pay for in the future at the Milty Magai itself. Sincerely, me want to encourage Liberty for roll the camera around Milty Magai and tell me if that particular work day, imagine that work day, the way I see Milty Magai hostels, with all due respect to the president, if na in kitchen himself, na in entirely the way they tell Milty Magai, he go jail the post we do am. Let alone a public institution of that nature. It's an eyesore.
For the committee, because not just going on earth the thing the way they happen and then universities here in terms of the wash facilities, but also actions for be taken for ensure that the right thing is done. Moving forward, waiting next.
Okay, for we role is we bring the issues, we table them in Parliament, we make legislations. There where we stop. We not get enforcement power. Administrative power is in the hands of the executive. So we make with the come na the media and talk about them things here. One, now for heightened citizens' education. Secondly, now for also get a situation where we go talk to the public, and which the president, I believe in saying leadership is not all about what you are being told within your circle. It's also about what other people you don't believe in will say. For me, I have called on the president for get a committee, a special committee for investigate the Milty Magai project. A special committee for go and look at the Ernest Bai Koroma institution, both in Makeni and Poloko, and see, maybe it's not just a subvention issue. Maybe it's not just an employment issue. Maybe it is not just a matter of leadership. It goes beyond that. But in committee, go able on at most of the things in the, because true, it's difficult for say, waiting the part of na Parliament and waiting na the feel not to but that's not the reality that one day. It is contrary. Now, like if you say na 2 goal posts themselves, you go say something the way old or 2. They're not even feeble.
All right, thank you, Honorable Musa. Moving forward to this, waiting at some of the things them where if you say na immediate action them for protect the environment there and by extension wash facilities na learning institution.
Yeah, so quickly,
I think we're very important now. The fact say strong wash systems now one determinant to a country in progress. So we need for make sure say we get them high on the political agenda so that he able for like reach the ultimate goal there. The second thing I for make sure say we address quick fixes. You know, quick fixes over time not help anybody, you know, but we need for invest more solidly in sustainable wash services. The other one are for provide central leadership. Central leadership is key for able for make sure say we are coordinating the activities of the institutions, the systems, as well as the structures where they're in place for deliver wash services. Already we get plenty institutions where they deliver wash interventions them. But if we not provide that required leadership, it will be different. It will be difficult for government for able for like equally track progress because we plenty, we deliver services we're not sustainable. And so we get for make sure say we put in place measures and systems in place so that we're able to track, who is providing on sustainable services and keep them off the space, and make sure say we're able for really get the system, for work on your own. The last one I want to say that the fact that challenges between the Ministry of Water Resources and the Ministry of Health, and I'm glad that the committee chair Denaya, with respect to sanitation mandates transfer, this is an area we even they think of engaging the parliamentary committees, for water as well as sanitation, and possibly the legislative committee for able for like really bring them two players there together because they are very critical, to the delivery of sanitation services in this country. And so on that note, I feel say these are key areas I feel say now some of the ways we can able for get forward with.
All right, many thanks for joining at the program this morning, gentlemen. Well, viewers, now this edition of the Breakfast Show today we've been look at the wash facilities them, especially in tertiary institutions them, as the Parliamentary Oversight Committee on Water Resources and Sanitation bingo waka na some of the institutions here on earth they were the situation sound like, and we've been getting at the studio this morning Honorable AKK, we na the chairman for the committee, and also been get Musa Ansumana Sokoh from WashNet Sierra Leone. We discuss the issues and we come out and don't talk about recommendations and we then believe they need for be done for improve on the condition of the wash facilities them na the institutions here. Until we meet again, may welcome get a good day and goodbye.
All right, continue for Watch Liberty TV throughout the day. We get very interesting content them what they put out now with various platforms them, and also they bring out on interesting stories and topic them for telling about different things them where they happen all over the country. As Liberty TV na an institution where they for give public interest stories them for now. Many thanks to Musa Sokoh and Samuel Thomas, who then support the production team for bringing this edition of the Breakfast Show come to you. Mina Khadija Bangura, they say have a nice day.
My name is Jennifer J. Bangora, Commissioner General of the National Revenue Authority, and I am honored to extend a warm welcome to all our regional and international partners as Sierra Leone prepares to host one of the most important gatherings on our calendar, the Water 2025 High-Level Policy Dialogue on Financing Development through Effective Tax Systems, and the 21st General Assembly, which will be held from the 15th to the 19th of September 2025. At the National Revenue Authority of Sierra Leone, we are proud to host these events because we believe that effective tax systems are the cornerstones of nation building. We are committed to delivering a world-class event, one that promotes knowledge sharing, inspires reforms, and strengthens partnerships. On behalf of the government of Sierra Leone, the board of directors, and the entire NRA family, I invite you to join us in Freetown this September. Let's work together to shape a tax future that truly supports the development aspiration of West Africa. Welcome to Water 2025. Welcome to Sierra Leone.
Watching Liberty Breakfast Show on Liberty Online TV.